Hello everybody, this is my top 10 differences between the manga and anime of One Piece. Let's get into it. Number 10. Okay, first up is Vivi's outfit. In the manga, Vivi's clothes had a circular pattern which emphasized her breasts. Now in the anime, the pattern was switched over to a wavy one as not to do that. However, if you ask me, the zoomed in shots of her chest completely defeat the purpose of doing that. Number 9. During the Drum Kingdom arc, Dalton attacks Wapol. Wapol gets a slash across the chest in the anime, but in the manga, he also gets decapitated. Now, he gets fixed up all the same, but it's just surprising that I can say in One Piece, there is a decapitation. Number 8. When Sanji is saving Nami from the forced marriage with Abasalo, carrying her out of the church, he is stopped and attacked by Abasalo. In the anime, Sanji drops Nami after a powerful kick to the back, while in the manga, Sanji was stabbed. Sanji then says, "Forgive me," that he can't get his blood on the dress, suggesting that's why he dropped her. I'm not sure I'm buying that from Sanji, but considering he was stabbed, I can forgive him nonetheless. Number 7. In the Barate arc, just before Sanji's flashback, Zeff is pushed down and held at gunpoint by Jin. In the manga, Jin also breaks Zeff's pig leg in half. When I saw this, I was shocked and surprised, because I did not think something like this, something without blood or gore, would be censored in the anime. But I will admit that breaking Zeff's pig leg was a bit excessive and pretty savage, so I guess that's why it was not included in the anime. Number 6. When Luffy and Caesar Clown are having their final conflict, Luffy runs out of the room, into the hallway, uses Gear 3rd to make a grizzly magnum, runs back into the room to Caesar, with the magnum trailing behind. In the manga, the moment Caesar sees the magnum, he breaks down, crying, saying, "Wait, Straw Hat, I'll let you work for me." The very next page, boom, Caesar's center of mass is hit by the grizzly magnum, and because Luffy is a rubber man, his magnum continues to drive into Caesar, pushing him against a steel blast door, destroying it, then sends Caesar flying. But in the anime, Caesar does not fear the magnum at all when he sees it. While continuing to trash talk, Caesar catches the magnum with his hands, and the fight turns into a grapple. Now, Luffy eventually overpowers Caesar by going grrr and ah a lot, which somehow gives Luffy more strength than his signature ability of slingshotting his attacks using his rubber body. And the physics in this scene are just horrible. Luffy is suspended in air for over a minute. There is no way without any footing Luffy could exert more force than the initial hit with the Magnum. And I know using logic with One Piece is not popular, but the anime was really off the mark here. Number 5. Whitebeard and Akainu's fight was censored a little bit in the anime. Now, in the anime, Whitebeard's mustache was burned off. But in the manga, half of his face was blasted off. That's right, half his face was blasted off. In the manga, Akainu counterattacks Whitebeard with a deadly blow to his head that results in that. You might be wondering if that means Whitebeard took less damage in the anime. The answer is no. In the anime, Akainu's attack to Whitebeard's abdomen that left the second hole was added in the anime. Some people, I think rightly so, criticize the added scene of when Whitebeard falls to his knees, because he never did that in the manga, even with his face half gone. Number 4. We all know the anime version of the Whitebeard pirate symbol, but did you know that originally in the manga the symbol is a swastika? Now you might be thinking, what the heck, is Oda secretly a Nazi? Well, no, that's not it. Truth is that the swastika goes back over 11,000 years and used in religions like Hinduism and Buddhism. The Japanese call their version manji and is a symbol of good fortune. But the reason this is so high up on the list is not just because it was changed in the anime, but also in the manga. Higher ups at Suisha correctly knew that many in the Western audience would mistake the symbol to be a Nazi one, and so they told Oda to change it. This is a quote from the One Piece wiki, which is a quote from Shonen Jump 50. Oda commented that from chapter 434 onwards, he would have to use the cross version of the flag in the manga as well, after being told to do so by the higher-ups at Shueisha. For those that don't know, Shueisha is the publishing company behind Shonen Jump Weekly. Number 3. Okay, Luffy and Hori's fight. This subject has been talked to death, but I can't make a list like this without including it, so I'm just going to hit all points hard and fast. In the manga, the ending fight goes like this. Luffy uses Red Hawk against Hori. Hori crashes into the Noah. Luffy follows, jumping into the Noah's air bubble and uses Elephant Gun. Hori eats some more pills that lets him try to hit Luffy with a stream of water sharks, but Luffy dodges them, then hits Hori with the Elephant Gun. It's super effective and Hori faints. Now in the anime, Luffy jumps into the Noah bubble, Hori eats the pills, then Luffy almost looks intimidated, and the fight continues. Let's now list all the extra attacks. First up is Hori's extra attacks. 1. Hori grabs Luffy's arms and follows up with a knee to the abdomen. 2. A bite to the shoulder. And 3. A water shark attack that lands on Luffy. Now for Luffy's attacks. A jet pistol that Hori dodges with speeds that he did not have, even in the water. 2. A jet bazooka. And 3. A second Red Hawk, which the reuse of cheapens the attack. Ultimately, the reason this is on the list is because just how big of a buff Hori got, and that he put up a real fight when this arc was supposed to showcase just how strong Luffy and the others had become. And for those that argue that it would be boring if the anime did it the way the manga did, I ask you, was the first Bellamy versus Luffy fight boring, or is it still one of the most epic things in One Piece? Number 2. We all know Zeff lost his leg when he met Sanji, but the anime and manga do it a bit differently. In the anime, Zeff's leg gets pinned by a steel beam, and Zeff has to use an anchor chain to cut off his leg. He later gives Sanji all his food and survives 90 days without food. But in the manga, well, Zeff smashed his leg off with a rock so he could eat it to survive those 90 days. The situation from the anime is that Zeff is forced to cut off his leg because it's stuck. 2. In the manga, he makes the choice to sacrifice his leg when he gives Sanji all the food there is. And that's why this deserves to be so high on my list. Number 1! The start of the manga and anime have a lot of differences ranging from the environment, order of events, and story detail. Starting with the environment, in the anime, Luffy, while in a barrel, is brought aboard a unnamed ship. When the ship is attacked by Alvida's crew, Koby finds the barrel Luffy is in, Luffy shows himself, and his antics ensues. On the other hand, in the manga, Luffy in his barrel washes up on the shore of a remote island next to Alvida's base. After that, events are pretty much the same. There are just 2 things worth noting. And that is Nami is nowhere to be seen, unlike she was in the anime, and that the reason Luffy was in the barrel in the first place was hinted at in the anime, but in the manga, it shows it. Luffy was in a barrel because he was careless and got too close to a whirlpool. He had to take shelter in it. Okay, moving on. In the manga, Luffy in a barrel is not the first time we see him. You know Luffy's flashback with Shanks in episode 4 of the anime? That's the first chapter of the manga, and it's not a flashback. That's right, in the manga, we start the journey that is One Piece in real time with child Luffy. When Luffy learns what a devil fruit is, we do too. Okay, so events in all the childhood scenes are pretty much the same between the manga and anime, except for 2 things. The first one we're talking about is we get to see Luffy when he first set sails on his adventure, and that he even gets to knock out the same Sea King that took Shanks' arm. Now, this whole scene was animated in episode 504 of the anime, but that episode came 14 years after chapter 1. Now, the second change is small and not that important. It's just how Luffy got his scar. In page 4 of the manga, we see Luffy trying to prove he's man enough to be a pirate in Shanks' crew by cutting himself below the eye. That is how Luffy got his scar. This scene was animated in the episode of Luffy Special, but that's not part of the anime. If you just watch the normal episodes of One Piece, you will have never seen or known why Luffy has a scar. And that's the cherry on top of why the beginning of One Piece is at the number 1 spot of this list. Well everybody, that wraps up this video. Thank you for watching, and a big thanks to the artists that let me use their art and music. Links to their art and music in the description down below. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. And as always, have a good one.